So first of all, I bring greetings of Ugadi from Telangana and Hyderabad. So we celebrate across India. It's our diversity. So I'll go straight to the topic. What is weight-based dosing of immunotherapy? Should we use on a weight base or it should be on the flat dosing that many recommend? So my topic would be not liking by the sponsors of the meeting. I don't know how would Priyanshu generalize it. So whatever it is, we are here to speak the science. So I would just tell what we have data supporting, what we do not have data. So first of all, we come for a nation where we account for each and every paisa. So we need a mileage before choosing a car and anything. So there was a study, very interesting study conducted at Tata Memorial. They have seen out of all patients who have an indication for immunotherapy, they found out that only 1.6% of eligible patients who were requiring immunotherapy finally took immunotherapy. So this is the problem in India with the current presence of costs, which are very, very high of immunotherapy. But we have very high incidence of oncology cases. How do we deliver these products to these oncology products? This is the essence of my talk. So we employ a lot of cost-cutting measures, whether we work in a government setup or private setup. So what we do, we give lower dose. For example, abiraterone, we use lower dose. We use less frequently dosage and shorter course of treatment. We try to complete, especially the breast cancer trial, where even 9 months of adjuvant therapy sometimes is sufficient. And we use some strategies to improve oral drug absorption, especially in case of serotinib and abiraterone, using low-fat diet and all. And we especially employ another agent to enhance the availability. The example of venetoclax, where we use antifungal fluconazole to increase the dose 4-fold time. We use only 1/4 dose, giving an alternative agent. And if we have a strong government dedication, as we have seen with the approach of ART and ATT, they are given free of cost. With government support, we can definitely go ahead. As we have seen a decade change in the costing of tyrosine kinase inhibitor, for each molecule, we have around 5 to 6 companies now. So that is welcome step in India. We need a lot to hear. Maybe my guess is maybe in 10 years down the line, the scenario that was with tyrosine kinase inhibitor 10 to 15 years back would be with immunotherapy. So with this premise, let's talk what is the important difference in principle of immunotherapy and targeted compared to phase 1 trial of conventional chemotherapy. So in phase 1 trial of previous conventional chemotherapy, it's based on maximal tolerated dose based on side effects. But for immunotherapy and targeted therapy, the side effects do not occur. So also the important thing is receptor occupancy and toxicity are not dose related. So this is an important thing. So my point is the principles we use in conduct of conventional chemotherapy are not equivalent to conduction of phase 1 trial of immunotherapy and targeted therapy. We do use an alternative strategy such as receptor occupancy to see how much is the tolerated dose, but this is only in the preliminary step. There is no clear understanding what should be the best method to conduct trial of immunotherapy and decide dose in phase 1 trial. There lies the important problem. So because of this, to circumvent all this, what a lot of companies during the initial researchers do is they empirically use a random flat dose. So this is the background of choosing of dose of immunotherapy. So low dose immunotherapy is the need of the hour. As we know, immunotherapy is a immunoglobulin antibody molecule. The T-half is pretty long. Even though the T-half is long, lot of we use 2 weekly, 3 weekly as recommended by FDA and Indian guidelines. And as I told, phase 1 trials are different compared to targeted and immuno-oncology dosage. And we have seen when desperate circumstances occur, we have to take desperate measures. As we have seen the dosing of pembrolizumab, it was initially only given very frequently. Later, they increased to 4 weeks and 6 weeks also during the COVID pandemic. So there is a scope, but the regulatory and the pharma companies should help us so that we can serve our needy patients much better. As you can see, this was a published trial. This was a review that was published from Tata Group, where they have seen that even nivolumab, pembrolizumab, and atezolizumab in increasing dosages, that is 0.1 as low as 0.1 mg per kg, would show efficacy of 30%, which is equal across all agents. So we should give a dose that is sufficient to target and inhibit the receptors. That is possible with even minuscule dose of 0.1 mg per kg. We don't know what is the magic number, but we are giving the dose that is almost 10 to 20 times higher than what is required. So this is one important thing, and this is the data backup, where you can see across various dosages range, the responses are pretty okay. So even we have a trial data that supports low dose immunotherapy. So this is a recent analysis that was published by Dr. Amol and Dr. Ian Tannock. So where they have seen various immunotherapy agents, the current costing of conventional FDA approved dosages. Based on the retrospective analysis, they have formulated a nivolumab dose of 0.6 mg per kg every 4 weeks, Pembro of 1.6 every 6 weeks that we have, and Atizo every 6 weeks. So you can see this staggering figures where 90% cost reduction, 86% cost reduction, 95% cost reduction. If single patient use, we can use 14 patients use in the same cost. So this is very staggering difference. So how should we able to go to this era? So the problem of low dose immunotherapy is the giant pharma industry lobby that prevent us conducting these trials. And there are legal issues whenever we give low dose therapy. If unfortunately the patient progresses, then we would be no backup. So this is the need of conduction of investigator initiated clinical trials at the academic, and there is the requirement of cooperation of various oncologists across India. So the problem occurs if the patient progresses on low dose immunotherapy, we should have a proper ethical approval before initiating this thing. So this is the importance of proper conducting an investigator initiated trial. So the important thing, the pharma company is always smart. So they are one step ahead of this. So we employing the strategy of low dose immunotherapy. I have come across two important occasions. Recently, during a prescription of abemaciclib, I found out that the dose for all mg is same, 100 mg, 150 is the same. And also regarding procular of venetoclax from the official sources through US, I found out that the cost of 10 mg dose is equivalent to 400 mg dose per month. So they have changed their costing strategy from cost per duration rather than dosage. So one patient, 1 month, either he takes 10 mg or 400 mg or 500 mg, the cost should be there. These are the approaches of pharma industry. So we should act as a cohesion for help of the patient so that the patient would be beneficial. So always more is not always better. We have to choose the right spot, the correct dose. I know lower dose is efficacious, but we should use in a protocolized way. With this, I would end my presentation. I would thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, and I hope I completed in time.